Gotta get some better lighting for this room. But anyway, this is DFS today. This is not a lineup video, but today I'm going to tell you what you need to know about DFS lineup optimizers, whether it's from FanDuel, DraftKings, or anything else. So, a lot of people have asked me, oh, do lineup optimizers work? Is it worth being a member of one of those DFS optimizer sites? Is it a waste of money? Today, I'm going to show you, and I'm going to be 100% truthful. I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about DFS lineup optimizer. So sit back and check this out. Okay, first we need to know what is a DFS lineup optimizer. It is a tool used to do research and then create lineups for daily and fantasy sports. Optimizers are computer generated lineups based on their stats. So basically, that's where lineups are created. They go by their projections, they go by their points per game, and they'll do all that and put it in PowerPoint, Excel, and they'll just spit out the numbers. It's basically like a lottery. It's basically like a lottery ticket, but you're doing it online. That's basically what it is. Now, running a default lineup optimizer is very risky as projected fantasy points are not guaranteed. So if I run an optimizer, let's say if I just run a default optimizer and my optimizer is this optimizer projected NBA lineup optimizer is 387. And I'm going to run and plug that in because RotoQL, using it as an example, says this is projected to score 387 points. And I go and put it in a $50 tournament. And it'll come out as a 275. I done wasted $50 because I put my trust in an optimizer that really don't know the ins and outs of the game. They don't know if he's tired. They don't know if he's nursing a sore elbow. They don't know if he's going to be hurt that night. He might be on the road and he may not play as well on the road as he play at home. So there's a lot of factors it's a human aspect to it. You generating a lineup optimizer is computerized. They don't know if he's on a hot streak or a cold streak. It is computerized. It has no human aspect of it. Now, using a default optimizer is no different than walking into a casino playing a slot machine or buying a lottery ticket because the lottery ticket generates computer picks unless you pick your own numbers. Okay, you just saw the Powerball, the Mega Millions was over $1.6 billion. Okay, that's what it is. It's computer generated numbers. So I can go into the casino and put $40 in the machine. It's luck. At the end of the day, it doesn't take skill. It's just luck. I can lose that $40 in 2 minutes, or I just come in the right time and end up winning $300. I've done that before. Now, the other thing is optimizers work well when you do your own research and use the optimizers as a tool to create your own lineups. Meaning that if you're running a default lineup, I would say 25 to 30% of the time, you might get lucky and win. It's happened. I've done it before. I have done it before. I have used RotoQL and I've used DFS Army and some other sites. And when I figured that it was a waste of money, I just said, you know what? It's a waste of money because I'm losing more than I'm losing way more money than I'm paying for this. And this site really doesn't do anything for me because I'm losing way more than I expected to lose. Okay, but in the next clip, I will show you because from my friend's account. I'm not gonna mention his name. I don't mention people's name on here. I'm gonna give you an example I'm going to run a lineup from one of those sites, a default. I'm not going to do any research at all. I'm just going to run it. I'm just going to do a time lapse because this video is actually, some of this parts of these videos were produced yesterday. The full video, the full conclusion of the video that you will see will be tomorrow. And I'm going to do a test run, and I'm going to do the exact same lineup that RotoQL did, but there's no research. It's a default lineup, and I want to see if it did it score higher or did it score lower. I might do two. I might do two. So I'm just do a couple quarter entry lineups just to, do an example and see how it turns out. But in all is this. You can't rely on a lineup optimizer to win you big money. Because number one, these sites, these sites always know what they're doing. They don't use these projections. They don't. And they know how to make money. They said, let me make some money. Let me talk some slick stuff on here saying this is the best DFS site. People have won money on there. And then you'll see the testimonials up there. Oh, I won 100,000. I won this. I won that. But then you're saying, when you put it in, you say, well, I didn't even win anything. But you know why they didn't do it? You know why they won? Because they did the research. They took players out. They changed certain things up. They left games off the list. They chose their own players. They canceled players out. And that's how they do it. So if you're going to use an optimizer, you have to do research and customize it. I'm not going to tell you how to customize it, but you have to customize it. Because if you don't customize it, if you don't do your own research and you're relying on on computer generated picks, you're really not going to succeed. You're going to be spending more money than you should have been spending. So that's, what I did. Now, the only thing that's good, when I'm going to tell you one, the only good optimizers good out this is Line Star. Some of you already heard that, Line Star. That's pretty good. I mean, I've had success on it. So that's a pretty good tool. It's $4.99, about a week every 2 weeks, $5. I mean, okay. So that's pretty good. I've had success on that. But the other ones that are $40, $39.99, $200 a year, to me, now you might have success if you're just, entering 100 computer pick lineups in a GPP, but a lot of people don't have that type of bankroll, and that's where you have the sharks and everybody else entering these big GPPs, and they're getting lucky and they're winning. That's the only way. Basically, you're entering the GPP. It's like playing the lottery. That's what it's doing. Okay, I'd rather go with my gut instincts. I'd rather choose the players that I like, choose 4 or 5 players, and let the optimizers fill in the rest. That's, what, I like to do personally. But, and I'm not knocking RotoQL, I'm not knocking DFS Army, I'm not knocking anybody else's site. I'm just saying, to me, it is a waste because you can do a lineup optimizer for free, because they got, I think, RotoGrinders has a free lineup optimizer. They have it. So what's wrong with going to RotoGrinders? Because they're free. You can do the same lineup optimizer. You can plug in those same plays instead of spending $39.99 for a lineup optimizer, which they're going to spit out their own computer picks. So to me, it is a waste of money. And a lot of people ain't going to give you this information. I'm giving you the information. I'm giving you the real, because a lot of people getting mad. Oh, I'm wasting my money and these things don't work. Well, okay. It's a business, and they know. Oh, look. Oh, yeah. I can create this site and make 100 and make 100. Now, like I said, it's how you use it. I'm not saying that they're bad optimizers, but when you just run it default and not do any research and not pick your own players, it doesn't work for you. Now, to each his own. I'm not telling you to not to get it. If you want to get it, that's fine. to each is his own. Now, in this next clip, I'm going to run a default optimizer from RotoQL. I might run two of them. I'm going to run a couple of them, and I'm going to give you examples what the projected score is going to be for tonight. So there you see the RotoQL app. It says NBA, it says FanDuel, full roster, Thursday, 10:25, 7 p.m. There's 4 games tonight. And if you go down here, you'll have trying to see, you'll have Thursday 4 games, then you have Thursday 2 games at an 8 p.m. slate. Now I'm gonna go to 4 here, and as you see, because I'm gonna go through the whole thing. It says player manager. These, I'm trying to, it says quick pick. If I wanted to go to quick pick, let me see if this works. I mean, this is from the app, so it was probably hard to use it on the app than the computer. But I'm gonna just go to all. As you see, I'm not going to like anybody. I'm not going to lock anybody. These are the players. I'm not locking nobody, as you see. And I'm going to scroll down. I mean, their apps are not as good as the one online here. I'm using the mobile phone app, but as you can see here, and then all the settings are the same, lineup options, and this is NBA tonight. As I scroll down, as you see, their salaries right here. It says consistent floor, ceiling, projected points, and everything like that. And then you see the players. And this one says 307 points is projected to score. I'm going to run this same lineup tonight. I'm going to run this same lineup, and then I'm going to give you the results from NBA Projection 1. So, so this is projection NBA 1. I'm going to run this lineup. Now, I'm going to go to, let's see. You're not getting this information nowhere else. I'm going to go to projection 20. And I'm going to run a projection 20 lineup with the lineup. I'm going to each enter them at a quarter because they got the quarter contest. Now, coming up next, I will show you the results of these two lineups. I will show you, did they go over 300? Did they stay under 300? Were they in the high threes? I'm going to show you that coming up next. Okay, so you see here, the 267 was the lineup number 20 that was given out. And then you have the other one, which was a 236, which the first RotoQL was a 307. So, sometimes when you run default lineups and you thinking, well, I'm just going to use the default and hope for the best, this is what happens. It'll happen like this because they're based it on projections. A computer is just randomly picking players based off of projections, based off of fantasy stats, and based off of salary. So, it doesn't always work. Now, I'm not saying that you can run a default and it don't hit, because sometimes it does, but 75% of the time, you don't win. and people they running $50 tournaments, spending $50 on tournaments, and they're not even winning anything, and you coming in the middle and to last place, you're not even winning anything because everybody else is making their own lineups. And when you run a tournament, it's basically playing the lottery. You're basically buying a lottery ticket. That's what you're doing. Well, you're buying a lottery ticket anyway if you're running fantasy sports. Even if you're running cash games or 50-50, it's basically a lottery ticket because computers lineups are not basing it on human factor, uh, fatigue factor, hot streak, or he might have something personal going on, or he might be in a funk. They don't take in consideration these these factors. And then people first thing they do, oh, I'm gonna go with Russell Westbrook. I'm gonna go with Anthony Davis. Oh, I'm gonna go with LeBron James. And you spend $13,000 on one player. Once you do that, your salary is going to be low. Now you're going to have to go after mid-level guys. You're going to have to go with guys with $4,000, 3 or 4 guys with 5,000, 45, 3,900, and now you got to hope that those guys have a good game. And sometimes 9 times out of 10 they don't. Now some do. I'm not saying that they don't, but you have to research the guys, see who's in the starting lineup, how many minutes they get. It really takes a lot. That's why people say, man, well, how come you don't use Westbrook all the time? Or how come you don't use Anthony Davis? I could spend $10,000 and use a different player, or $9,000 using somebody else that's going to have just as good of a game as an Anthony Davis, and still have room to choose other guys that have potential of going off. That's what I'm saying. Now, I'm not telling people that you shouldn't use the membership with DFS Army and other optimizer websites. I'm not saying that. I'm saying if it works for you, fine. But if you're going to use it, don't run a default all the time. You have sometimes I manipulate when I had it. I manipulated the settings. I manipulated the projections, and it worked for me. But I said I could do that on my own with the free stuff. You can manipulate it, and I don't believe in spending $39.99 a month and then spending money on FanDuel and only winning 35% of the time. To me, it's not worth it. That my friend gave me access to this when he used it. I don't know if he still uses it. He says, he doesn't use it like that anymore. But, that's and he does well on DraftKings when he doesn't use it because he tells me he chooses his own players. Now, I'm not going to give you the method on how he does it. I'm not doing that. But you have to come up with your own methods. You have to do your own research to know how to win good at fantasy. Okay, it's not just about buying, ordering, going on the site, paying for something, and having people spoon feed lineups. They're not going to do that. People are just not going to spoon feed you $1 million lineup. And don't always look to me to put a lineup on YouTube and it's going to hit 400. It doesn't work like that. When I'm doing lineup, I'm doing a lineup that I think is going to do well. Now, sometimes it may not do well and sometimes it won't. So, and I just gave you an example right there of 2 lineups, okay, that was put out yesterday, and you saw the results that happened. I'm not telling people who owns these sites don't buy them because I know people gonna go off and get upset when I say things like that. No, I said if you want to use them, that's fine. But if you're gonna use them, you gotta make it work for you, and you want to put some work into it. You can't just go on the website, just random hit optimizer and run a default, and then you enter it in the contest, and then you get mad. Oh, it's a waste of money. I paid all this money and I lost 85% of the time. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. But I just wanted to give you some advice on do DFS lineup optimizers work, and my answer and my conclusion, I will say yes and no, but it really depends on you and it depends on the research that you do. Running a default lineup 9 times out of 10, you will lose half the time. But tell me what you think about it. Make sure you like the video and subscribe.